Hello again, friends. It's Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here. Today I'm doing some planning in my planner. And my plan for the planner is to do my March in review page and then get set up for April. And if I have some time, maybe I'll set up the first week in April too. We'll have to see, where we're at. But if you know me at all, you know that I want to keep this planner as practical as possible. So I like to keep it simple. I don't like to do a ton of art in here. I do like to do a little bit to keep it interesting and to keep me motivated and inspired, but I don't like to overdo my planner because I have other places where I like to art it out, where I do all my other art things. So in here, we're keeping it simple. We are keeping it practical and usable. So that's my plan today. And in that respect, I've pulled out some different stamps here. I'll probably use some little pieces of paper, maybe some collage and things like that. And we might even pull out the paints and do a little bit of watercoloring in here as well. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's see where we are in my planner. Get those out of the way a little bit. Here's the next page in my planner, and I think I'm going to use this for my month in review. I don't like to do a huge month in review, but I want to try to capture just, a few things that I want to remember from the month and things on here. So, and it's kind of already separated. I like that it has these different little pieces, these kind of boxes that are already there that I can use to put the information that I want in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to name this page. And so I was thinking in this sort of big line right here, since I don't have room at the top, I'm going to do my March in review stamp. So I have these little letters that keep flying all over the place. Let me grab my little block here. And to kind of keep with the colors we've got going, I think I'm just going to pull out, let's try this one. I have a sepia one. Let's try that. Okay, so now I sort of have to space these out a little bit so that hopefully I have enough room to put what I want with these large letters. Ooh, I don't know that I'm going to. Maybe I need to use even smaller letters because I think that this is going to take up way too much room on here. So what I might do actually is I will use these for just the word March, because then that'll be kind of in big letters. Goodness. And then we'll do some smaller letters for the in review part. Okay. I'm putting this all the way over towards the edge because of my rings here. And I want to get this as close as I can to that. Oh, wow, that was not perfect at all, was it? Let's see if I can kind of get that back down. That's not too bad. Like I said, we're going for usable here, folks. Not perfection, because that's definitely not me. Okay, now the rest of these letters for March, I can kind of put in the middle. And I am going to try to squish them together just a little bit so that they are close and we can get that in review in here too. All right, let's see. Oof. Man, these are really sticking. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely no way I would have gotten all of that on here. Okay, so let me just put these aside and let me grab my small letters and we'll use that again. Okay, I grabbed this little group of small letters and I like the circle around these. I think that'll kind of be fun in contrast to what we have going on here. So I think I'm just going to, I was thinking about making 2 rows for in review, which I think I'm going to try to do. So that's okay, that looks good. And then review, I'll do just down below it right there. Okay, I think that looks great. I love that that's kind of my title in the middle of things there. And now I want to break it up a little more because I have a couple different things I'm going to put on here. So in this little block right here, I want to put kind of my overview of the whole month. So I'm just going to take my black pen here and I'm calling this my 30,000 foot view. So I'm just going to put that here so that when I'm ready to write it in, I'll remember what, is supposed to go here. And this will just be a couple words about the month, either how I felt about it or, just kind of in general how I felt the month went is what I want to do there. And now I thought, and the other reason is I don't have stamps for my numbers, so I thought I would just write that in. Now the next thing I want to do, so there's a couple things I want to put in here. I want to put what worked for the month. So I want to remember things that I did in this month that worked well for me so that I can do them again or come back and look at them and remember, oh yeah, this is a habit I made that, I want to start doing again, or, this is a process that worked for me. So those are the kinds of things I want to put here. So those, I think I can use these 4 to kind of put some stamping on. I also want to put a lessons learned, and I don't want to, I kind of think of those, I want to remember those because they're lessons, but I don't want them to be a large part of this page. So I just picked out a little piece of scrap paper here that I'm going to put down here for my lessons learned. And then the other portion that's here is I want to have a block where I put some memories. So I'm just going to highlight all of that out so that it'll be a separate space. All right, I thought I would speed this up a little bit so you didn't have to watch me do all this stamping, but I am just stamping in the words what worked on 2 little lines on the label that's here. Now I'm just gluing down the little piece of paper that I'm going to be using for my lessons learned. And I'm grabbing my stamps again. And this time I'm going to be stamping lessons learned, but I'm doing it backwards because I know that I want my words to fit without going over that little piece of paper that I put down. So I'm starting from the last letter and then working my way backwards to the first letter on each of these words. Now I'm just adding in a little bit of a frame to kind of separate out where I want my memories to be, since that part kind of runs into the bottom lessons learned part. I thought it would be nice to separate it out just a little bit. And then I decided to add a little frame around that lessons learned paper that I had put in there as well. Now I was getting ready to stamp memories up in the upper left-hand corner there, but I decided against it and I wanted to put them down in the lower right-hand corner. So now I'm just finishing up by stamping memories once again backwards, since I want it to be aligned with the right side of my frame. Okay, my March page in review, my month in review page is done here. I love how using the same stamps as part of the titles just kind of brings it all together. And having this base page with already some, divisions and things worked out, I think it really came together nicely. So now this page is all ready after I've done some thinking about the month so that I can know what I'm going to be writing in these areas. I'll be all ready to go. And then the other thing that I want to do is add this to my index. So my March in review page, well, actually, all this, I'm going to include this in my March index page. So if I go back to my index, right now I have March listed as pages 16 to 21, and then 28 through. I hadn't done anything past that. So I'm just going to take a look at what page 28 is, and we'll see how far March goes here. So 29th, 30, 31, 32, and 33. And since this, I'm sure, is going to be the last page in March, I'm going to go ahead and put that down as 28 through 33. So now my March index is all ready to go. When I want to come back and look at anything for March, I can just find it very easily using my index there. Okay, let's go ahead and get set up for April. All right, I'm all ready for April. So we're going to flip the page here and see if this would work for me for April, which it totally does. I like starting on a page that has some lines but is pretty plain to do my month overview. So I'm probably going to do my month overview just right here, kind of all together. I am going to, in the back, go and grab my bullet journal helpers here. And this is sort of some free helpers that I put together to help me bullet journal faster, and you're welcome to have them too. You can go to Mad Paper Crush /bullet journal setup and grab the freebies there if you would like. So I'm going to pull out my days of the month here, and then I also need a 1, 2, 3 for the dates. So let's see, try and find one that's a clear one. There we go. I printed these pages out both on white paper, but also on clear sticker paper so that they can be easy to use. And I did go ahead and pull out, there's different lines of these days that start with different days at the top. And I went ahead and pulled out the one for Friday because April this year, 2022, starts on a Friday. And one thing I am going to do, I think I'm going to pull out my trimmer here and see if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to do this because these are already so small. Either I'll just cut them out by hand or I'll see if I can. I want to try to take off some of the excess sticker paper around here. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure I can do this. This might be too short. I might just have to cut it. Yeah, because I can't hold it with my hand. So let's see. Wow, I actually did it. Now let's see if I can do the other side. So sometimes when I'm doing something like this, putting your blade in the center after you have it where you want it. I'm going to wait to put it down until I kind of get, let's see, this one. And then once I kind of know where I want it, let's see if I can do this too. Whoop. See, now this might not work. Can't believe I did it. It's not great, but I just want this to be as slim as possible so that when I start writing my things out, I don't have to worry about that. So let's do the same thing for this one. Okay, all ready to go. Now what I'm going to do with them, now that I have them nice and trimmed down, the other thing I have to do, all of these go up to 31. So since April only has 30 days, we'll just snip off that 31 there. Okay, so now they should fit nicely on my page. These are kind of set up to be on a page that is 8.5 inches tall, which this one is. I'm going to put my numbers down first, and I'm going to try to get them pretty close to the edge of the page. Just like so. And then I'm going to make sure my days of the week line up right next to them. And I do have an extra day on here as well, so I'll cut that off too. And then our monthly overview, we're pretty ready to go. Well, I have to do a little bit of decoration, so we'll get that going. But sometimes I find this part is the hardest part if I'm actually writing things out. I think I'm going to have to do this way so I can see what I'm doing and make sure I get my days lined up with my numbers correctly. There we go. I love having these on stickers because now I am all ready to start putting my information in for April. Now, I pulled out these big letters, and I thought it would be fun to put April in big letters and maybe put one of these flower stamps on there since April is really getting into spring. But once again, I wanted this to be pretty simple setup, but still be kind of fun. All right, so what I thought I would do, and since these letters are so big, I don't want to do them in black, but I found this old ruby red stamp from Stampin' Up, this little piece here. So I thought it would be fun to try and use that. Let me grab this piece. And I think this will be light enough for my black pen to go over it. So I'm thinking about just putting April kind of down here and then putting my flower or something down here. Also, actually, I might do the flower in black and then use some watercolor. I don't know. We'll see. Let's start with April, though. So I'm just going to do one letter at a time for this. Let's see how this works out. And it is still inking up, which is good, but it definitely looks pretty light, which is what I want. So I'm going to start at the top. And this is going to be another tough one where I'll have to put the letters at the very top of my, and it's a little bit darker than I thought, but I think that'll be okay. I might have to either use my hands or try to see if I can get those letters at the very top of my plate so that they don't hit my rings. So there's my P for the next letter here. I'm going to see if I can put this all the way at the top. Let's see if that works. Okay, I realized I didn't have my camera on for the rest of April, but putting the stamp right at the top edge of my plate really did work well there. So I got April in there, and like I said, this is a little darker than I thought, but I still like the way it turned out. And so for my flower, because these have so much that are actually dark, I decided to try another Stampin' Spot here, this yellow, because once again I want to have something that I can write over in my month here. So I'm just gonna see if this will give me something here. I've had these Stampin' Spots for so long, and you know, I'm excited that they're still working because I don't have all these different colors and I can use these up. All right, I think I'm going to stamp this on something else first just to kind of see how much ink we got going, if any. Oh, and that's not too bad. So you can kind of see on my thing here. I think that'll work well. So let me stamp this up one more time. I think that'll be just enough. And maybe what I'll even do is I'll do a second flower up in the other corner. All right, so I think I got this all good to go. Try and get this as flat as I can. And I'm just gonna put this right down here. And hopefully it'll come out. Yeah, I like it. And then I think what I'll do, I'm gonna grab a different one and we'll put another one up here just to add even just a little bit more. So let's see, maybe this guy. Because once again, I'm not going to go crazy here because I need to use this planner. Okay, let's see which way is right side up. And we'll put this one right here. Perfect. Or at least that's what I'm calling it. We're going to call it perfect. Okay, I love that. So now I definitely feel like it needs a little something else. So I'm going to, let me just put these things away, get them out of our way, and we'll come up with a little something else for this page. Okay, I just went to my stash of little stamps here, and if you don't have something little, you could certainly just use a pen, some colored pens or something like that if you wanted to. But I just thought I'd grab this little guy and just kind of around in a couple places. We'll just add this little, kind of looks like an asterisk or something here, but I thought it would be kind of cute to have around. And then once I have a couple of those in my one color, I'm gonna use my other color as well, just to kind of draw all those together. And though I will say, let me put one down here, but I am gonna move him to the edge again so that I can maybe get some over here. And I think this might be all this page needs. Actually, I think I'm going to put one more. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to put one more of the yellow ones on here. Whoops. Actually, I want to try to turn it around so it's a different direction than these others. And there we go. I think April is looking good. Now later, if I decide I want to go back in and add some more things, I can, but I really kind of like it just like this. I think it'll be perfect. I can, if I have things going on, I can write over this and I won't have to worry about not being able to see it. And I think it's this, we're going to call this page good, at least for now. Let's add it to the index. So April is going to be starting on page 34. So I need to write my new index item in here. This is April, and we'll put this at 34. And I'll just leave it like that because I know I'll be adding things to it, but at least I'll have where it starts in there. Okay, monthly overviews looking good. I want to try to maybe go ahead and do my first week. Normally when I'm starting a month, on the opposite side, I like to put things like my monthly goals or tasks that need to be done in that month. So I could set up this page to do that, and maybe I'll just see what we have that I might be able to do that with. I like to, I mean, I'm not going to be able to really write over this, except for I could probably write over here and see, but I don't know. It looks like it's a little busy. So I'm just going to grab for some scrap papers and see if I have something that we can just put down to add in my goals and tasks. Okay, I ran into my scrap stack, which I have, you know, a ton of scraps, and I found this paper that I thought matched everything pretty well. So I do want to leave some of this showing, so I'm going to cut this down, this piece of paper down, and I'm going to try to cut, maybe I'm going to leave this little border here. So I think I'm going to cut it like that, about, grab my cutter. And then we'll figure out, I think I'm going to cut it into maybe 2 pieces. So let's see if I have this one here. Leave some of that showing. And then I'll maybe come down to there. Actually, is that what I want to do? Let's try it. Let's try it. Can't hurt. So yeah, I like how it still kind of keeps some of that showing. And this one, I may even just cut down a little bit more so that some of this green is still showing through. So, all right, so here's the part of my planner where I use it more like a junk journal in trying to kind of, you know, put things together with it. So I love being able to do that. So now I can put my goals for the month, my tasks for the month right here on this paper, and then I'll know, you know, right as I look at my April month, it's all right there together for me. So I'm just going to distress these a little bit to kind of take those cutting edge white off. And then I'm going to use my glue stick to glue these down. And then we'll probably add a little bit more to it. So let me go ahead and glue these down, and then we'll decorate them just a little bit. Okay, now I just went ahead and pulled out just a couple little bits of decoration to kind of spruce this up a little bit, because while I like it, it needs a little bit more. And I thought I would pull out these labels. These came in the Your Creative Studio subscription box. And I thought they would add a nice label touch to these. So, and I have to add some numbers. I always think it's fun to just add some random numbers about. So we'll just distress these a little bit. And I'm even going to try to distress these labels a little bit because they are super bright white. So that kind of matches a little bit more. Okay, and then for these, now the labels, whoops, pulled out one too many. The labels, I'm just going to use these for my titles of, you know, each of these boxes here. So I want to have, you know, goals and tasks, or something like that. Or maybe even, I don't know, different months I do different things, just depends. But the great thing about this is that you can put anything you want. And if you change from month to month, a lot of times when you have, you know, a planner that's already ready to go, you can't make changes, you know, to what's already in there. So, and I think this red kind of looks really nice with that. And I am going to use my little glue stick again here for these guys. And actually, you know what, before I put those on, I thought I'd grab a little washi tape. I have this, it's basically, it looks like old Scotch tape kind of, and I printed out some advertisements and different things on this. So let's see, so this one, I'm going to leave this one kind of nice and thick. And we'll put this at the bottom of the page. But once again, I printed this out on label paper so you can see through it, which I like too. And then I'm going to grab another piece. Let's see. Actually, this one might be fun. It just kind of has New York City on there and a little bit of a date, but the rest of it is kind of vintagey looking. So I'm just going to put that on there. And it kind of looks like some old Scotch tape. And then let's go ahead and put these two little finishing bits on there. And I love doing this because then when I come back, you know, I'm super inspired to use this to do something in it after I kind of dress it up just a little bit, but not so much that, you know, I'm going to be spending my whole day here because nobody's got that kind of time. I think this one maybe I'll put over that little date since it's in September. Not that I'd be confused, but okay. So now this is my overview page where I can maybe even use my stamps again and put in, you know, my tasks and goals for the month. So that is all good to go. Okay, I decided that I would go back into my little bullet journal helpers freebie that I made and pull out a couple of things because I thought it would be easy for me to add some of this to this page without having to, you know, worry about what I'm going to stamp in there. So I'm kind of looking through here. I know I have some like list titles in here. So let's see what we got. So I have remember, I have goals. Look at that. That's perfect. So I think I'm going to use this one. And these I once again have printed out on sticker paper. So they're see-through. So I can just very easily pull this off and add this as my label to this label. Look at that. I got goals all ready to go. And then I was thinking I would do for my tasks, instead of just simply using tasks as I look through all this stuff, I was thinking about maybe this don't forget I kind of like. So I'm going to cut that one out. And I'll probably have to separate it so that it'll fit inside the label. Because if I just, you know, do it like that, it's definitely going to be too long. But these labels have a nice size to them. So I can cut these words apart and then put one on the top here. And then this one we can put on the bottom. So this one will be like my task list for the month, different things that I want to be sure I get done that aren't necessarily goals. So that's perfect now. So now this is all ready to go and I can just start filling this in when I'm ready to do that. All right, and now let me clean this stuff up, and then I think what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll make our first week of April. Now when I plan, I usually like to plan my week starting on a Monday and ending on the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday as my last days for the month, for the week. But for March, what I ended up doing was only putting up until March 31st. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of April, I didn't include in this week. So I somehow have to get them in there. Now, what I could do is I could, you know, spread these out and, you know, go across a couple of different pages. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get them all together on one page. So I have to, instead of like the 1st through the 7th or 7 days, I'm going to have to do 10 days on these two pages. And this page, since it's already set up, it's kind of got 1, 2, 3, 4 things here. So I think that'll be perfect for the last 4 days of the week. And then on this page, I'll do 6 things. And what I did was I just went and grabbed some little scrap pieces of paper here. Let me just pull them out. And I thought what I would do is I would just add my 6 little days in here. If I can find, you know, different days that I could put. Now, the other thing that I was thinking was I could use one of something that was just a little bit plainer, more plainer. Oh wait, how about, where did it go? Something like this. So because this will be, the first starts on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that. So March 31st ends there. So Friday is April 1st. And then I have Saturday and Sunday next. So I was thinking I would use a big piece for the weekend days. So let's see if I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I can start my next week here with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let me just take a look at what we have here. Now that one looks too similar to that one. And I was going to try to keep them in the square range if I could for most of these. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I need one more for Wednesday. Maybe I can use kind of a little bit of a taller one. And a lot of these, I'm not sure how much I can, you know, if I try to use them, there's different things on some of these, so I can't necessarily use them all, but I have a bunch of different packets here that I could look at and see what we've got. It might be nice to do something that's not sort of lined here. Actually, I think I like that idea. I may take out one of those and include. So let's see, I may put this one in for my weekend. It's a little bit smaller than that one, which I like, because I don't usually have too much to plan on the weekend, so I don't necessarily need a whole lot there. So then I could do this, and maybe, let's see if I can find another. I think I'm going to have to do that. But, so now I can do the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And I think that will be perfect. Perfect for me. So let's see. And this is more of kind of how I like to use my bullet journal, my planner, as a junk journal, really. Okay, so I think I'm just going to glue all of this down, and then we will simply write in some titles. All right, so now let's see. I could do some stamping on here, but I thought maybe I would just write in my days, and I want to include both the day and the date on each one of these. So what I normally like to do, so now what did we say? Once again, I have to go back. March ended on a Thursday, so Friday is going to be the 1st. So I'm going to keep these a little bit small since my spots are kind of small here. I'm just going to write in my little, 3-letter day abbreviation, and then maybe on the right hand side I'll put my number, and maybe even I'll give it a little circle to stand out. So that's Friday, and then this will be Saturday and Sunday. And when I put these together, I usually just do just that, Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll do 2 and 3, and I will circle both of those. And then we got Monday here. And I'm just going to keep going like this. Speed this up, take out the sound. Done. I think this is looking just a little bit plain over here, so I'm grabbing my watercolors. This is the set from Artistro that I really like. I have a review about this set in my videos, and I will link that below if you're interested in seeing how these work, because I do really like the way they look. So what I'm going to do, since this is kind of, we got some blues going on here, I think I'm just going to make some painting marks. That's it. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to grab a little bit of Payne's Gray here, and I'm just going to do some mark making. So we're just going to, I don't want to put too much water on this since this isn't watercolor paper, but I still think it's kind of fun. And these actually look a little bit like leaves. And since we're just getting into spring, I think that makes sense, right? And so we're gonna make this page look like it's got a little bit of a pattern to it. I'm gonna try and turn my brush a little bit here and there. And I think this will frame it quite nice. And it's now, since I'm a lefty here, I gotta watch that I don't put my hand down in wet paint, because I will certainly do that. And I like this so far. It's adding just enough to make me feel like I was inspired. And doing something like this in the future, I think, helps to inspire me as well. Okay, I think that looks great. And maybe what I'll do while I have my paints out is I will go ahead and add a couple, not too many, but a couple to this page too, just to tie the whole spread together. So I'm just gonna, maybe along the bottom here of this line, I'm adding in some of those marks. And then maybe I'll just come down the side here with a couple. Like that. And then maybe we'll go down the middle of this in between these two, since this is 2 days here. We'll just add a couple like this in here. Like that. So now I feel like the spread is kind of all tied together. And I like that very much. Okay, so week 1 is all ready to go. All right, so let's take a look at what we did. We did our March month in review page, and this is all ready to go with our what worked, our 30,000 foot view, some memories here, and our lessons learned. And then we started April with our month overview page using our bullet journal helpers and some stamps. And then we have our goals and don't forget our tasks for the month already here on a spread so I can see everything when I look at the first days of April. And then we also did our first week of April and got it all ready to go. So I love the way it turned out, friends. I hope that you had fun planning with me today. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I hope that you'll do that. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.